Do you reckon we should draw attention to the fact that you have a bit more of your tattoo filled in?
I'm sure the comment section is already yelling about it. And the fact it's not finished yet. Things take time, folks. Things take time. Speaking of the word things...
I remember last time when you'd only had like the stencil done, everyone's like, well, the fuck's that shit? Why is there no colour on it? It's like, you don't do it all the way. You're not Michael Scofield, who apparently got it done in 1 month, and someone said in like an interview afterwards, if they tried to do that in a month, it would not have happened.
He'd have had like sepsis.
He'd have died from the pain.
And the blood poisoning.
Yeah.
Benjamin Grimm, better known by his oddly dehumanising mononym of Thing, is a Marvel character best known for his literal stony facade and ability to take how it surrounds to the dick. Although Thing isn't necessarily the strongest character in Marvel canon, he is noted as being one of the hardest to beat in a one-on-one fight. Cuts a clip of Thing saying it's clobbering time. Not from the latest Fantastic Four movie though, because that fucking ruined it. 'Cause have you seen that movie?
I've seen bits.
Alright, do you know in that movie they did a load of reshoots, people say it sucks ass. One of the things they put in was Thing saying it's clobbering time, but do you know where that line comes from?
Where?
Because in like, I don't know where it comes from in Marvel, like the actual comics, but in that film, it's the line Thing's older brother would say to him before he beat the shit out of him. So it's the line his older brother and his dad said before he was physically abused as a child. And that's his catchphrase. This comic book movie.
That's just disturbing.
Yeah. Not to mention that film also has like Doctor Doom's headshot montage. It's like, I know Doctor Doom's a scary dude, but don't put in this ostensibly a kid's movie, just Doctor Doom's 360 no-scope psychic headshot montage, where he just walks down the thing and you see people screaming as their brains explode.
What's wrong with having Doctor Doom just be like a normal wizard man from Latveria?
Yeah, it's like, it's not like there's not enough dumb shit in comics as it is. Like, one of the most popular comic characters of all time is a boy with spider powers. People think, oh no, a guy who's like got nebulous magic powers and is a dictator of a country we've never heard of. It's like, Wakanda is in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and no one gives a shit about that.
Just seems like they really love to stray away from Doctor Doom, like the real Doctor Doom.
Yeah, because they always say, I think one of the things is like, oh, we can't have a fake made-up country called Latveria. I'm sorry, I think like Sokovia and Wakanda have got something to say about that. Not to mention all the other like places that don't exist, that are still exist in the Marvel Universe. Hello, Avengers Tower. This giant, the biggest building in New York, and it's there.
Yeah.
They just made up a building and put it there. It's like, oh wow, I didn't know in movies you can just make shit up. What a novel concept.
The thing about Avengers Tower as well is, didn't that start off as Stark Tower and then all the letters fell off? Does that mean that Tony Stark was on the street one day, looked up and saw just the A on the repaired building and went, you know what? Leave just the A.
Leave just the A. I'd say it's more, it's like, just movie making that, innit? I'm sure that's not how it really happened. I'm sure Tony Stark went, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, I'm sure he went out and got a contractor to build a better A.
Yeah.
Because that one was like, if that's the only one that didn't fall off, I don't trust that A. I don't trust an A that almost... Because that's going to fall off and land on someone and I'm getting a lawsuit. Go design a better A.
It's like when you walk past shops and things now, and there's some letters missing. I'm not walking beneath that shop.
The one that always cracked me up was a hairdresser's place I used to live called the Public Hair Salon. People get nick in the L. So this is called the Pubic Hair Salon.
I mean, maybe there's a trade for it. Vajazzles are a thing.
There was always the joke that you just walk in and whip it out and go, there you go, sort this out. It's like that old dad joke, innit? It's like a guy walks past the watchmakers and he sees an attractive girl behind the counter. So he walks in, puts his dick on the counter and she goes, what are you doing, sir? He goes, this is watchmakers, right? She goes, yes, it is. Why is that there? And he goes, I want 2 hands and a face on this, please. Dad jokes.
Jokes your dad used to tell.
Yeah.
So Thing isn't the strongest person in the Marvel Universe?
No, but let's give Thing his due. He's still a consummate badass who's hard to kill than a cast iron cockroach. And he has stood toe-to-toe with some of Marvel Universe's heaviest hitters and walked away virtually unscathed as a direct result of his, like, you know, his most famous attribute, like his stony orange skin.
What's his skin actually made from? Is it some kind of rock?
Yeah, it's this weird organic rock that, in addition to making him look like a set of fossilised dinosaur testicles, is virtually impervious to everything short of Wolverine's claws, which means that he's virtually impossible to kill because the fact you can't break through his skin means you can't hurt anything inside of him. Not to mention, like, I think all of his organs and stuff are also covered in the same shit, which they mention in the Fantastic Four movie, like the Michael Chiklis one, where it's the big rubber dumb suit.
Yeah.
And they have that great joke in there. It's like, all of your organs are made of rock. He's like, oh God, no. I used to smoke. So I love that line because it's like a nod to the fact in the comics they say, oh yeah, Thing's rocky physiology means that he's virtually impervious to all known earthly toxins and diseases. Not to mention his muscles don't produce lactic acid anymore, so he can't succumb to the effects of fatigue or exhaustion. And that alone makes Thing sound like a pretty terrifying opponent, doesn't it? He never tires, he's virtually indestructible, and he's immune to all known diseases and toxins. But it gets a bit worse for whoever wants to fight Thing because he's also immortal. It's like, and they say like, oh, there's comics that they go into the future and he's just still running around being the Thing, and he doesn't age. He only ages when he's not Thing. And I think there's like one comic where they say, oh, one day per year, Thing becomes human. I think it's on his birthday or something, like he gets a deal with a Celestial or some shit like that. Look it up. It's weird. It's comics, right? Let's go with it. And they say the only time Thing ages is on that day.
Wait, so he lives as many years as it would take days for him to have died?
But I think as well, the fact he's only alive for one day. Not saying this is like his best mate's Reed Richards. It's like, oh no, I've hit 40 after 300 years of living. I'm pretty sure future Reed Richards will have some to take this, you're now 25 again. Go for it. So I've just got like 14 fucking Infinity Gauntlets over here with a council of Reeds. We're just chilling.
Does Reed Richards not age normally?
I think he does, but Reed Richards is just so smart, he's probably just developed a cure for aging.
Can you also explain the Council of Reeds? Is it this the same thing as like the Rick and Morty thing?
Yeah, the Council of Reeds. I think, the Council of Ricks and Mortys. I think that is a
reference to
reference to that, because in Marvel Comics there is a thing called the Council of Reeds, and because Reed Richards is usually the smartest man in the Marvel Universe, they all go into the multiverse and meet each other and just have a council where they all just meet around and talk. And I think 3 of them have just got Infinity Gauntlets. But they don't work across different universes.
Yeah.
Well, the idea he's so smart, he's just got an Infinity Gauntlet. He could just do anything.
Yeah, you've mentioned Council of Reeds a few times.
Yeah.
I've assumed that it's just multiverse Reeds getting together.
Yeah, but I love the idea that they're all just so smart. They just get all together and just like stroke each other's dicks about that.
Do they get together for a reason? Like, do they help each other's universes
just to
out?
solve
Or
like
do they
multiversal threats. Yeah.
Right. So they're not just there. They're not literally just there going, well, in my universe, I did this.
Well, it's more the fact that the one who rocks up with Infinity Gauntlet just slams it down on desk. So,
yeah, you can see what it'll be. One will rock up with Infinity Gauntlet with 1 stone, and then another one with 2 stones.
Yeah, imagine at the UN. Imagine they go to the UN and all the countries are meeting there, and then randomly say, oh, we've got a new entrant to the UN called Latveria. And Doctor Doom rocks up and he comes up in a full Doctor Doom outfit and then slams a fucking Infinity Gauntlet down on the desk. That's a statement right there. That guy's in charge immediately.
Just we went from Council of Riches to Doctor Doom invading the UN.
It's not that, it's just more the fact that like the way to make a statement is to just fucking rock up with a solid gold pimp gauntlet full of jewels.
It doesn't even matter if it's a magic gauntlet.
That sets a fucking precedent right there. We probably got a bit off topic there, but the long and short of it is, Thing is virtually immortal and can never tire, meaning in a physical stalemate, he could just exist until the other guy died and win that way.
Yeah, but if he's gone toe-to-toe with Stronger, presumably that's not really that much of an issue.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often because, like, let's put some fucking, respect on Thing here. The dude is strong as balls. Like, the films do not do justice to how strong Thing is. I think in the Michael Chiklis Fantastic Four movie, he, lifts a truck. And then I think in the really crappy Fantastic Four reboot, he fights a tank. That's not even close to what the Thing can do. Like, he can stand toe-to-toe with the Hulk. Like, he has gone, rounds with the Hulk. Obviously, the Hulk beats him, because no one's stronger than Hulk, but the fact he can even step to him and survive a punch from him. I think the only character who's ever survived a fully unguarded punch from the Hulk are Thing and Wolverine. And Wolverine only does it because he has an indestructible skeleton. And there's a great quote from Wolverine which says, fighting the Hulk is like fighting an earthquake. It's that's a fucking quote right there. Oh, man.
Imagine what would happen to a body. Because obviously the Wolverine's skeleton, I imagine, will be the bit that gradually repairs him. But imagine what happens to your body if you get punched by something that strong.
No, it just obliterate
all your flesh just disappears. Yeah. And you just be like a metal skeleton gradually regrowing on the floor.
Well, I've written an article for Top 10. It's the top 10 physically strongest Marvel characters that loads of people got pissed off about because I didn't mention any of the Celestials. Because I was doing it in terms of raw physical strength. And I put the Hulk as number 1 and listed some of his feats. One of which is he once punched so hard and so fast, the air whipping against his fist lit up the entire universe he was in. And if you can punch that hard with that force, you are fucking strong. It's like, that doesn't even make sense. But the air rushing against his fist caught fire and lit up the entire universe for a brief moment. Like, God said, let there be light. Hulk just said Hulk smash. It's like, the Hulk version of the Bible is just Hulk slap.
So I think it's safe to say that Thing is incredibly strong.
Yes, and I think the way I worded it in the article, which I want to mention now, is that he can hit with the force of a sledgehammer tied to the end of the Hulk's dick when he's in full sprint. It's a nice image for you folks at home. Just think about it, Brad. Sledgehammer tied to the Hulk's dick when he's in full sprint. What do dicks do when you sprint?
Yeah,
I'm side to side.
I got it.
With the sledgehammer tied to the end.
The confusion isn't me trying to figure out what's going on. It's imagining what you just said.
Now, while you'd think Thing's immense strength combined with the fact he possesses a bright orange bulletproof ball sack would be the reason he's unbeatable in a fight, the real reason is due to the fact he possesses immeasurable reserves of something that's a little harder to quantify: willpower.
How is willpower an actual superpower?
It's not, but in the Marvel Universe, having a lot of willpower, or having a very strong sense of will, allows you to do superhuman things. For example, if you watched our Doctor Doom video, how long ago was that?
God, it was one of the first ones.
Yeah, like a year and a half ago when we still filmed this shit in a kitchen. You may remember that we talked about Doctor Doom's biggest dick in the room swagger and the fact that he possesses so much willpower he cannot be compelled to act against his own interests or mind controlled by psychics.
All you need is Doom.
Yeah, all you need is Doom. Go watch that video. It's hilarious to watch in retrospect now, because I'm so skinny in it, aren't I? I'm all skinny, we're in a kitchen. And you can
so much echo. I've got subtitles.
You've got subtitles because you haven't even got a microphone. Oh, how far we've come. Literally upstairs. We just film upstairs.
We've gone up in the world.
Literally.
Up two sets of stairs.
Hell yeah.
So willpower in the Marvel Universe is not an actual power.
No.
But there are tangible effects when someone calls upon it.
Yes. So there's a list of characters who are noted to have especially strong force of will. And the two most famous examples people recognise is Captain America and Spider-Man, both of whom are supposedly possess such strong wills that they are immune to all forms of temptation, and they can force themselves to surpass their own limits through sheer force of will. When Spider-Man's lifting that building, he's like, "Come on, Spider-Man, you can fucking do it. You're Spider-Man." And the reason I'm getting so animated here is because this is one of my favourite tropes in fiction, because it gets me so fucking hype. It's basically the Super Saiyan moment, isn't it? It's when Goku gets so fucking pissed, he becomes a Super Saiyan, surpasses all known limits that you've seen before. And what's your favourite example of that in fiction that you can think of off the top of your head?
Someone just going beyond their limits.
Yeah, I've got loads. I could talk about this shit all day.
I mean, the one that keeps coming up is Rock Lee.
Yeah.
That immediately comes to mind because you bring it up every single time.
Because he's so
taking
fucking
off your
good
limiters.
and he still loses. He's so sad. He tries so hard. All he knows how to do is kick. But he knows how to kick real fucking good. I think one of mine is in Teen Titans. And there's a great moment where Cyborg has this existential crisis about the fact he's a robot. He's like, when I was human, I could always improve myself and surpass my limits. But now I'm a robot. I have my robotic parts have set limits that they can't surpass. And he gets into a test of strength with another robot. And he has the little thing on his arm telling how much power he's exerted. And the guy goes, "You've reached your limits." He gets to 100%. He goes, "No, I fucking haven't." And it goes beyond 100%. And he powers through. He's like, "Yeah, go on, Cyborg, fuck him up." Oh man, this is not me putting this on. This is how I get so hyped for the moments like this. They get me. It's like the bit in fucking Dragon Ball Battle of Gods when Beerus just goes to Goku, "You're not. This isn't a game. You're fighting for your life." And he just goes, "I will not let you destroy my world," and just explodes these rocks out of his penis and flies through the Earth's crust at 100 miles an hour. That shit's the best. I love it.
I always like that bit in Resurrection F when Frieza says to Vegeta, "Oh, what are you gonna do?"
And he just looks. He's just a god.
He does full god mode.
Oh man, it's just there's something about the character when they're just get so angry they just surpass in Thor Ragnarok. When it's "Oh, I'm the god of death. What are you the god of?" And just explodes lightning out of his eyeballs. And goes, "Oh yeah, I should have seen that coming." Really?
Well, it's a trope for it ends a lot of films because that's the final moment when you're in that big heated battle at the end. And the other one I'm thinking at the moment is Blade. Whenever he drinks real blood.
Oh yeah, that's only because we talked about Blade.
I know.
So he drinks real blood.
Turns into a monster.
Just turns into his vampire powers.
But it is there's a lot of films that end like that.
Yeah.
Where someone is getting beaten and then just gets that last ounce of strength.
They get so
back.
angry that they surpass their limits.
What about the moment in Game of Thrones when Theon's losing that fist fight and the guy knees him in the balls and he doesn't have them?
powers through the power of having no testicles just forces him to go, oh man. Well, you get that with Jon Snow, don't you, in the Battle of the Bastards? Where he's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to cut 40 horse legs off. So I'm eating tonight. I'm just going for a horse leg massacre right here. And I'd be remiss, Brad, if I didn't mention the greatest example in all of fiction. And that's where Trunks gets so angry that, like, you know, Black and Zamasu are taking over his future, that he just becomes Broly through shoes. He's so pissed and so angry that he keeps losing and that his future keeps getting fucking rocked by these assholes. He punches the ground, his eyes just turn completely white, and he just becomes fucking Broly and walks forward whilst, like, destroying everything in his path. Oh my god, that's like the Kenshiro moment, man. Like, are you familiar with Kenshiro?
No.
Oh man, you need to put a clip of some Kenshiro in. Kenshiro is also like that. He's basically like the guy in fiction's the biggest dick in the world. You see, just all he does is punch people and their heads explode. That's it. And he's just like the first, and he like punches you 1,000 times and you die. But there's a moment where he gets super pissed off and a building falls over and he walks through the building. And people are like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm Kenshiro, fuck you.
Well, if we're going to talk more about people meeting their maximum strength at the end of something, Karl,
yeah,
I'll bring up Vanquish for you.
Oh, that's another one. Oh man, the bit in Vanquish where they just say to you get this special suit in Vanquish, the way you just like slide on your ass. That's it. It's like ass slide infinites, man. And then you just put it on, and then at the end they say, "Oh yeah, we're taking your limiters off right now," and they let you go at 100 miles an hour forever while firing a machine gun. In regards to Thing, he is noted as having one of the single strongest sense of wills in the entire Marvel Universe, and possesses willpower of such strength that characters who can physically beat him in a fight have straight up just given up fighting him after they've acknowledged that no matter how much they stomp his ass, they'll never be able to get him to give up.
So there has to be an example of that.
There is, yes, and it's a comic where Thing gets into a boxing match with a character who unironically refers to himself as Champion of the Universe.
That picture looks like someone's put a wig on The Rock and turned it negative.
Maybe. Why don't you do that right now? Why don't you just Photoshop, like put up Champion of the Universe and then Photoshop The Rock in negative with a big stupid red wig on. And let's just see. Because I didn't notice that, so let's see how on point you were. Audience, in the comments below, let us know how accurate Brad's description was. That's the first time I'm aware of he's ever seen Champion of the Universe.
I'm really looking forward to you putting that on your Twitter.
Just to see. What the fuck is this?
Negative picture of The Rock with a wig on. Spoiler. So describe this Champion of the Universe.
Well, like many Marvel characters, his power set has been ill-defined over the years, and he's like, you know, grown in power as other characters have due to power creep, but when he was first introduced in that comic, he is noted as being a character physically strong enough to punch the dick off Galactus. So pretty fucking strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stronger than the Thing, at least, we should point out.
But how do giant clouds that eat planets have penises?
Shut up, that's not my Galactus. Fuck off, that's a terrible Galactus, is that? Fucking giant cloud eating planet. It's like in bloody Green Lantern, where like Parallax or whatever the fuck it is. Oh, he's just an evil cloud and he punches him into the sun.
They went through a phase of huge evil clouds, didn't they?
And then it was the blue space laser.
Oh, blue space laser,
Blue space laser, like forever. So let's not have a cool final fight. Let's just have like, disposable CGI army and giant space laser.
Huge glowing sky pillar.
Yeah, there it is. Awesome. What a great... Oh, and Man of Steel, the dubstep machine.
Never heard it referred to like that.
You know, whenever that laser fires in Man of Steel, it just plays dubstep.
And everything drops.
Yeah. I think it's an honest trailers joke, I think it is. So I don't want to like be accused of stealing that. I just thought it was quite funny. It's like the dubstep laser that destroyed the Earth with dubstep. It's like, no, this wasn't cool then. Why is it still being used now? Oh, DC, always chasing trends. Congratulations on having your first $1 billion movie, and it's fucking Aquaman.
Is Aquaman actually good then?
Well, it's good enough to earn $1 billion.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's good.
It's better than Batman versus Superman. I just think it's funny that the character who's got the most shit over the years is the one that's the coolest now.
Let's be honest though, they're only going for Momoa.
Yeah. The abs.
So I'm guessing if he's going up against someone called Champion of the Universe, Thing does not win.
No, he gets his ass kicked while Champion of the Universe openly mocks him, saying, I'm not even using a modicum of my full power and I'm pulling every single one of my punches. Just to check, Brad, you are going to put in the clip of One Punch Man when I said that bit at you.
With a bit of Boris saying, you're not even using your full power.
Yeah. Because that's like, oh no, we forgot to mention One Punch Man, where One Punch Man gets pissed off because he's missed the sale at the supermarket and just instantly destroys Carnage Kabuto in one uppercut. Oh man, that show has got so many of those moments.
Oh yeah.
Like the Genos one.
Oh, Genos does it constantly.
Yeah,
though.
when Genos puts on like the anti-Saitama arms and just like goes, you know what? I'm gonna do just like robot Final Flash and just obliterate a mountaintop.
I love the fact that show just has every other character having like proper story arcs.
Oh yeah,
and then One Punch Man just walking in and finishing the fight.
Oh man, like what's your alright, let's just narrow it down. What's your favourite you done fucked up moment in One Punch Man? So I think mine's got to be Silver Fang. Where it's like the old ass man and it punches him into the rock and you just see that he's the most shredded motherfucker in the world. And he goes, oh, you fixed that crick in my neck. It's like, oh fuck, this old man's gonna fucking knife hand shot me to death. Oh man, what's yours?
I don't know. All I'm thinking is Moomin Rider, but you can't fault Moomin Rider.
Justice Crash.
You can't fault Moomin Rider.
Oh, man, I just like, I think Puyo Puyo Prisoner. With that, or Puri Puri Prison, I should say, where he just like angel Crash or whatever it is, just obliterates his own clothes and just does a million punches at once. Thinking about it now, every character in that show has that moment we got hype about earlier, where they just surpass their own limits. Like, oh man. And Genos has it at least once per fucking episode.
Yeah, Genos always does that, because it's either he's getting like trash and has to get up again and keep fighting,
yeah,
or he just like upgrades his armour out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's how it's done, man. Oh, God. Despite being wildly outmatched in terms of raw physical strength, Thing somehow manages to last 3 rounds with Champion, a feat that nobody else in the universe up to that point had ever managed before.
So I'm assuming this all kinds of pissed off Champion.
Yes, so what he does is he punches Thing out of the ring and declares himself winner, but before he can finish talking, Thing crawls back into the ring and through a broken jaw says, I'm not finished yet. And that's just, again, one of my favourite things in fiction, where the guy's getting his ass fucking whooped and goes, I'm not even done. It's the Captain America, I can do this all day. And what's your favourite moment of that?
Well, Rocky's the most well-known.
Yeah.
He always does that.
Where he just stands back up and like, he just blocks every punch with his face. But, if you talk about Rocky, mine's quite similar, because mine's in real steel.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
When Atom is fighting Zeus, and Zeus is like this giant fucking, like, Autobot, just punching the shit out of his tiny little bot. And like little Atom just goes, come on, and he pisses off the robot. He's like, oh yeah, go on Atom, you can do it.
Are you bringing this up because I didn't put the clip in last time?
Yeah, you did, yeah.
I thought so.
I just love that though, that I'm not done yet, you've not beaten me. And it's like, yeah, that's fucking, it's like the you didn't win tactic.
It's used constantly. It's like the whole thing about people getting like their second wind and coming back from a fight. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Where someone gets like the shit knocked out of them, you see them stand up and all the audience start to rally around them.
Yeah, and that's what gives them the power. Like, those two things go hand in hand together. But I just love the idea of you getting your ass beaten by this like, clearly physically stronger enemy, and you just stand up and go, what you fucking got? Don't even hurt. And they just punch you again, you get back up and go, what do you got? And they just give up. And that's what happens with Thing and Champion, because Champion realises, I am never going to be able to beat Thing to the point where he will give up, because his willpower is such that he will not allow himself to lose, because Thing thinks like the entire world is at stake. And he thinks to himself, the only way for me to beat him is to kill him, and I don't want to do that, so I give up, and he awards Thing the victory. And I think the quote is, I can break every bone in your body, but I'll never break your spirit. And which is obviously, that's something only a fucking comic writer would come with this. It's so fucking cliche. And that's why Thing is noted as being virtually unbeatable in a one-on-one fight, because even if you can break his body, you can never break the man, because he will never give up harder than anybody's never given up before. Cue the John Cena music. Since it's the last thing we mentioned in the video, Brad, what is your favourite not giving up moment in a piece of fiction?
All right, Karl, pitch the scene.
Okay.
It's the side of a mountain.
Yes.
And the poor ring bearer just can't go that little extra step further.
Fuck's sake.
And then Sam picks him up and carries him.
Why didn't he have the fucking ring? He was way better in every way.
He even gave it back to Frodo. Like
Yeah.
he showed that willpower.
Yeah.
Why was Frodo special?
I don't know.
We've said before, give it to Legolas. Give it to Sam.
Someone explained in the comments of that saying, oh, the ring enhances the power of whoever's using it, and hobbits are shit. So they'll never be powerful enough to be like a threat you can't kill. If you give it to Legolas, he's become Sauron too, and that's not a good idea.
Well, did you know Gandalf has a ring?
Does it?
Yeah, Gandalf has got one of the elven rings. Gandalf has one, Galadriel has one, and Elrond has one.
Let me guess, this is in the extended edition I didn't watch.
It's in the extended Hobbit one, it's referenced.
Oh.
But in the original Return of the King, at the last scene when they're getting onto the boat, Gandalf has his ring on.
Yeah.
And in the lore, it's because the ring loses power after the other ring, the One Ring gets destroyed, and it has something on that cloaks it. So because the One Ring's destroyed, it loses power, it becomes visible. So they put that in the film, which I thought was fascinating. Like, in every scene, Gandalf doesn't have this ring on. In that last scene, he gets the ring on, because obviously in the lore, his ring's meant to be... Okay, I'll stop.
Yeah, you had to go at me for talking about Pokemon too much. You've got no fucking legs to stand on after this. Like, mine is it's not as in depth as yours. It's in the game Punch Out. I forget which version of it is. I think it's the one for the Wii, where there is a mechanic in that game where if Little Mac gets his shit rocked especially hard, you get knocked out. But if you waggle the Wii sticks, he can power through getting knocked out, and he goes against the ropes, and he just gets back up and he goes. And you just go Super Saiyan, and then you get like an extra round to fight with if you're getting your ass kicked. And I just love that idea. That if you shake the sticks hard enough, Little Mac will power through that knockout and get back up. Oh, I want that mechanic in every game. I want every game. I want it in FIFA. And I want games of FIFA to eventually devolve into Shaolin soccer. If you mash hard enough like you're playing track and field, your keeper turns into that Bruce Lee looking motherfucker who just saves every ball. He just turns into fucking Vishnu with 18 arms.
That's what FIFA needs to do. Like, they're obviously the same every year. Imagine if there was a FIFA they released and there was Shaolin soccer mode. And all the players
You mean red card football? You mean just re-release Red Card Football where you can play as the Dolphins? And you can just drop-kick people as a dolphin? Oh, man, that needs to go. But I want that in every game. I want that mechanic where if your character's about to die, just mash real hard and they'll just power through.
I'm trying to think what game that'll be most awkward.
Well, there's quite a few, but I know there's a game where they've got a similar concept, and it's a terrible game. It's Devil May Cry 2. But if you activate Devil Trigger, which is your super powerful mode, when you're on red health, basically when you've got less than 5% health, you enter a super powerful version of it called Desperado mode, where you're stronger and more powerful. And they never brought that back in any subsequent Devil May Cry game, and it's the coolest fucking feature. So if you get in your ass kicked and you activate your special, basically, fuck you, I'm done mode, when you're on low health, you get extra powerful to make up for it.